Season 9 in SnowRunner is officially out as of today, but the developers actually released a video that confirmed a bunch more information about the future of the Year 3 DLC, and that is what we're going to be diving into in this video. Now, in the video from the developers, they showed this screen right here, which shows Season 9, Season 10, Season 11, and Season 12. And Season 10 being Fix and Connect, Season 11 being Lights and Cameras, and Season 12 being Expansion 3. Now, there are a lot of things that we can speculate on here. However, I want to focus on what Fix and Connect and Lights and Cameras could both mean. Now, from the two previous years of DLC, we can have a pretty good idea of what the final expansion in Year 3 is going to be. However, I mean, when I say a good idea, we can have a good idea of what it's going to be like, as opposed to maybe not what it's going to be, but at the very least what it's going to be like. So let's go back and focus on Seasons 10 and 11. Now, Season 10, Fix and Connect. Fix and Connect could hint at a variety of things, considering the fact that Season 9 hinted at, renewing and rebuilding, and then turned out to be around fighting fires and basically rehabilitating and refreshing a burnt area. I would imagine Fix and Connect could have a variety of meanings, but the first meaning that comes to mind for me is actually repairing a road network. Because if you think about it, maybe some sort of natural disaster, who knows whether it was earthquake or hurricane or giant winter storm or something like that, came through and absolutely ravaged a road network and took out a bunch of bridges, took out a bunch of highways, and it's up to you to rebuild and essentially fix and connect. See what I did there, that entire region again. So that may or may not be the case, and we don't have any info yet on the locations of Seasons 10, 11, or 12, but I am open to, not only am I open to where y'all may think they could be going, but I'm also keeping my eyes and ears open for any info that the devs may drop here and there, because every once in a while they do leak some little tiny details. I shouldn't say leak, but hint at some little tiny suggestions as to what this may be. Now, I also do want to say that with the release of the Season 9 DLC, a system-wide, when I say system-wide, I mean essentially every single system that SnowRunner is playable on, they released a big system-wide update that included a patch that should take care of a bunch of issues within the game, both in terms of single-player and multiplayer. We're going to have to wait and do a little bit of testing, and the community is going to have to kind of experience the update as it is right now to see if they've addressed the rampant co-op issues that have been happening throughout this game lately, especially on Xbox. And again, I know I did a video recently where I talked about the co-op issues on Xbox specifically, but there have been reported issues with co-op on both Xbox and PlayStation as well. Some on Switch, but the player base isn't quite as large on Switch. Like, they're definitely there, and I see the Switch players in my comment section. Don't worry, if you do own and play SnowRunner on Switch, I see y'all in my comments. I appreciate y'all's feedback immensely, and I think that the Switch player base for SnowRunner is definitely one that should not be ignored, because y'all, honestly, there were a lot of y'all that stuck with this game for the long run, and, there were a lot of people that were like, it's never going to come to Switch. It was just like it was just smoke and this, that, and the other, and it was never actually going to happen, but it eventually did. I'm still a little salty that they said it was going to come at a certain point, and it ended up coming like 6 months later than that, and I don't even play the game on Switch, and I'm still salty about that. But I say that from the standpoint of somebody that loves this game, and still loves this game, even after its, let's say, rocky post-launch support cycle. Now let's talk about Season 11, Lights and Cameras. That's a very odd theme to go with, and I feel like that one is pretty self-explanatory as to what it's going to be. We can very safely assume that that one is going to be based either around the idea of a film production, a movie of some sort, and may even be based on a movie set, or at least maybe around the premise that you'll be in an area where a film is being made on location, and you have to do some sort of task, or rather a whole variety of tasks, to support the efforts required to make whatever this film happens to be. Now, again, I don't know that for certain, but I think that they've made it very, very obvious with that tagline. Again, lights and cameras, because what else would that signify other than a film, right? Like, what else would that signify other than a film? And because I've racked my brain about this and I can't think of anything else. Now, it really does make me wonder, though, what location they're going to go with, because if you think about how they have flip-flopped back and forth between, you know, a North American DLC region and a European DLC region, and then back to a North American DLC region, and then back to a European DLC region, I would imagine if we work off of that, because it's not always 100% been the case, but it's like more often than not been the case, so I would imagine that if we were to go off of that, and this is, you know, this is not confirmed or anything like that, but I would imagine that Season 10 may be a European region, Season 11 may be a North American region, and then Season 12 might be back to a European region again. Although I'm not 100% sure, they do tend to flip back and forth like that. That kind of flip-flopping is how they've done these DLC release cycles in the past. Now, could that lights and cameras tagline indicate that it's going to be based in California? I really don't know. I mean, yes, they make a lot of movies there, but at the same time, you know, I do think, if you think about it, I mean, California is a massive state, and there are so many different types of terrain and so many different types of areas where SnowRunner's vehicle lineup could be applied. But at the same time, I mean, why would they make it lights and cameras? If that is to signify Hollywood, then, I mean, that's, like, not gonna be somewhere where the lineup of vehicles in SnowRunner would be applicable, at least not in a very engaging sense, right? There's not a lot of, you know, like, back trails and rock crawling in Hollywood, California. But at the same time, we're going to keep an open mind. We're going to wait and see what the devs do. We're going to see what the devs tell us, and we're going to see what ends up happening when, you know, seasons like Season 10 and Season 11 and Season 12 make their way over to the public test server, and we can get a little bit of an early look at them. Now, at this point in the video, I would love to hear from y'all in the comment section below on what you think about the taglines for these upcoming DLC regions, and rather just DLC stages in general, the seasons. I always get the name wrong. I'm like, oh yeah, a region. Oh wait, no, a stage. Oh wait, no, a phase. Oh wait, no, right. A season. That's what it's called, a season, and I always get it wrong for some reason. But either way, once again, let me know where you think Season 10, Season 11, and Season 12 are going to be based, or rather, where you would like them to be based. I mean, I think it would be really, really cool as far as a North American region. I think it would be really amazing to see a season based in Montana, because I think that would be a really cool location for a SnowRunner DLC season. I think it would really apply itself well to the environment of SnowRunner, and I think that the premise of the game lends itself really well to, like, really a lot of different aspects that Montana would have to offer. Now, as far as the European regions go, I mean, the sky's the limit, really. I mean, all these different places that they could go, I mean, it's virtually limitless. And I would, again, love to hear from y'all in the comment section down below. So drop those regions that you think this game needs to explore, that it hasn't explored yet, that you think would be a really good addition to this game's sort of DLC trilogy at this point, because it really is a trilogy. We're going into our third year of DLC, and that's crazy to think about. The third year of DLC for SnowRunner. I remember when I was covering SnowRunner news from before the game released, and I was still doing mainly MudRunner content on the channel. It was like a lot of MudRunner, a lot of, like, you know, other games that, like, you know, here and there, but it was mostly like MudRunner, some other driving games, and covering SnowRunner news. And here we are, 3 years of DLC later, 3 years of post-launch support later, and while the game has definitely retained a core audience, I think that there's something that we can learn from this game and learn from the way the post-launch support went, because I'm gonna be honest, like, I think there are some things that the devs did well, and I think there are some other things that the devs did not do well. And I think one of the things that they did not do very well was they segmented the community. And they were not transparent enough with a very, very, very core audience of people that played their game. And there was definitely this weird, within the community, I think it sparked this weird air of there being a right and wrong way to play the game. And I know I've talked about this a lot before on the channel, but I think it's very, very relevant because it puts into perspective how segmented the community became, and in some ways, frankly, still is to this day, because, you know, you still have people that will go into, it doesn't even matter what platform it's on. I mean, it could be Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, wherever. And, you know, they'll see someone that's just enjoying the game the way they want to enjoy it, just having a blast, whether that be with like a massive mud truck or like a, you know, something that doesn't fit into the quote unquote vanilla game balance at all. And they'll absolutely just rip this person a new one because that's not how you're supposed to play the game. And it's like, here's the thing. There's no right or wrong way to play the game. You want to do the objectives? Great, go for it. You want to struggle in the mud with highway tires like this thing is doing right now? Go right ahead. If that's what you enjoy, go right ahead. But if you want to just blast through things in a lifted big block mud truck, go for it because that's what you enjoy doing. And there are a lot of people that enjoy the game multiple ways, you know, whether it's they both enjoy the campaign gameplay and the modded gameplay or not. Maybe they enjoy just one. Maybe they enjoy one or the other. Maybe they enjoy many different types of gameplay. There's really no wrong way to play this game, but I think the way that certain things were presented made it seem like there was a right and wrong way to play the game, and I think it gave a little bit of, let's just say, ammo in a sense for people to come after certain parts of the community, and I think that ended up just segmenting the community even further. And while I don't think it ruined certain aspects of the game, I do think it had an effect, and I think it had an effect on some people's impression of the game over the long term, and for some, they didn't end up playing it as long as they may have because there was so much of that segmentation to the community, and, you know, so many people couldn't even ask a question without being ripped a new one, you know what I mean? And I don't think that promotes a healthy environment for the community to grow and enjoy the game as a whole. But I know that was just a little bit of a soapbox, but seeing as we're near the end of the video, I did want to bring that up because I think that as this game's future and as this series' future goes on, I would like to see more of that, like, return to a little bit more of like a chill community that, like, hey, if you want to play this game this way, great. If you want to play the game this way, great. You're on console, great. You're on PC, great. It's no big deal either way. And I think that is what we really should be striving for in this game's environment. But either way, let me know any of your thoughts and opinions on anything that we talked about in the comment section down below. And if you're new around here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn those notifications on. And I will see y'all next time. Talk to y'all later.